Alright, this onion is clearly very old and I'm not even sure how I feel about using it, but I wanted to show you yet again cutting an onion. I feel like every single recipe I have uses one of these. You're going to cut it in half, peel off the skin, and then you're going to kind of dig off the parts that aren't good anymore. Realistically, it really wasn't that bad. I was so impressed with them. Like, these things were in the bottom freaking pantry and they just work so well. If you're new to my channel, when you cut an onion, you want to pinch the sides together and use the stripes of the onion to help you, or the cuts within them. So you cut them at a 90-degree the second time, and that way they're all symmetrical, they're going to cook evenly, and you're going to have your onion done in no time with very minimal suffering. In a chili recipe, I always really enjoy having some garlic, especially fresh garlic, and I don't always have the time to mince it myself, so I do get organic squeezed garlic, but if you can cut it yourself, it's going to be so much fresher and have so much more potent flavor. It's just going to be amazing. I caramelized the onions, or cooked them until they were somewhat brown, and I originally had decided to make this chili jog recipe in the crock pot, but I ended up not being happy with that, and I made what I would consider to be a large mistake, and I wanted to show you how I fixed it. So I actually put the raw ground beef into the crock pot, and normally I brown it before. I was really out of it this day. I threw it in there and I almost started to cry. I couldn't believe that I had made such a big mistake and put the tomato sauce and all these ingredients that were really expensive into this, and then potentially have wasted it. So I'm going to show you how I fixed it. Now I have a bunch of chili powder here. This is about 2 to 3 tablespoons. And then of course some oregano and some basil, and then we're throwing in some cumin, which is a lot of fun and my favorite spice of all time, some garlic salt, and that looks like celery salt, and the last thing was some cayenne pepper. It was a really interesting idea, and then just regular, pink Himalayan pink salt and, pepper later. Now as I'm stirring it, this is kind of when I realized that I've really screwed up, and how am I going to fix this, because that is not what it should look like, and I'm kind of coming out of this daze. Alright, so now that I've strained all the tomato sauce off and most of the spices, unfortunately, I put it back into this pan and I'm going to cook it through here. I turned around to do some dishes, and then we had a little sneaky man start smacking away at my steak for my carne asada recipe, my fajita recipe that I did, and I turned around and he took off with the whole steak. Let's watch that again. This is just insane. Ready? See? Top right corner. He is just sniffling away. This cat ran off with an entire steak. Just gone. So angry. But anyways, the joys of cooking with pets and always having a lot of fun with your animals is always a big joy. So I did strain all these and then recook them, and I was able to salvage it and not waste all of that ground beef, but I did waste some of the spices and ingredients, and that is really frustrating. But I don't think that we're perfect in the kitchen at all times, and I'm not a professional chef by any means. Sometimes I'm tired and sometimes I make mistakes, and I think that we have to be okay with that, and sometimes we just have to learn how to make do with what we got and make it work. And so instead of having a perfect video every single time and thinking it's something unattainable, I want to show you a mistake that I made and something you can do to fix it. And then if you thought it could have been cooked in that crock pot, then well, dang it. Show me other tips and tricks in the comments below about what you guys think. In this next clip, you can see obviously the meat has browned, and there's still enough sauce there and spices that it still has some flavor. You can of course go back and redo the same spices if you feel the need to. I did not. Now, considering the crock pot was now dirty, I decided to just make this in a regular pot on the stove, and I really just wanted to have something like a chili cheese dog in chili form, I guess. So I added all of this to another can of the tomato basil sauce, which is my favorite, especially with the fire roasted tomatoes. It just gives it that extra something special. I've tried it with other ones and it never ever comes out the same. Fire roasted tomatoes, totally the way to go. I use Muir Glen, if that's how you say it. And then I actually took these Dakota grass-fed beef hot dogs. They are not your typical hot dogs, y'all. They are so good, and I have a thing for hot dogs, so I know a lot of people don't like them, but that's okay, because this is just reminds me of baseball games and going to the Angels Stadium and barbecues and 4th of July and some of my favorite holidays and memories and birthday parties, and so I just wanted to recreate that. I'm really ready for summer. I think I was so ready for spring, and get about halfway through and then I'm ready for the next season. So it warms up pretty quick here in Texas, and we just got our boat for my birthday, and that's all I want to do. So anyways, this is in honor of that. They already technically cooked kind of, so you don't really have to go too nuts with this. Just heat it up enough. They don't need to be browned on the outside or anything crazy like that. And then you would just put your favorite toppings on them like you would on a chili dog. So in my case, that would be some bacon. because I can never have too much bacon in my life, and who doesn't want bacon, hot dog, meat, just awesome chili, right? Like, so that's just what I did, and I think it's a lot of fun, and it adds a lot of flavor, and I just, again, that smokiness, especially from hickory smoked bacon, is the best. Now I put some mozzarella cheese on top, and then I added some red onions, which you probably can't see, and then a little bit of sour cream, and it was fabulous. I usually get organic sour cream. I feel like with dairy products especially, it's so important to have that because of what they do to our dairy products and all the chemicals and hormones and processing that goes into it. I just highly recommend that. So I use Horizon, and of course extra cheese, because who doesn't want extra cheese? I got this farm style. I love Tillamook. I have tried off brands and it's just not the same. So it's cheddar jack, the red onions, and I kind of started to layer it. I don't know if you could see that because I'm extra. So I kind of made it pretty and cute, and then I was like, I'm gonna eat all this, and it was delicious. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want some more, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.